NBA superstars usually have a lot to say when it's not them on the hardwood, getting every little move and every little reaction magnified and replayed over and over again. So you just know something incredibly out of this world happened when some of the most outspoken NBA players just couldn't find the right words to say or tweet because of something that Damian Lillard did. But before we reveal what Dame did to leave even veterans like Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant speechless, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel with notifications turned on so you won't miss any of our next videos. So here's what happened on June 1st, 2021, the day that will forever be remembered in NBA history as the day Damian Lillard left the entire NBA family speechless on Twitter. First of all, Damian Lillard made history that night by becoming the first ever NBA player to make 12 three-pointers in a playoff game. His impressive 55 points that night was also a franchise playoff record for Portland. So obviously, even other NBA stars had to pick their jaws up from the floor after that performance. And get this, 2 of his 12 shots from beyond the arc were crucial clutch shots. One of them took the game to overtime, and another one secured a second overtime. According to ESPN Stats and Info, Lillard has become the first player in the NBA to have at least 50 points, 10 assists, and 10 three-pointers in a game, regular season or playoffs. But here's the thing that made all the congratulations seem superficial and out of place. Despite playing the best game he's ever played in his NBA career, and despite those clutch threes, Lillard just couldn't snatch that Game 5 win over the Denver Nuggets. Just imagine playing the game of your life, breaking records left and right, then having to face reporters after a 147-140 double overtime loss. Poor Dame couldn't even celebrate his personal victory. He was in a somber mood when he told reporters his personal record performance didn't matter because in the end they lost the game. Well, props to the Nuggets for finding a way to at least contain the rest of the Blazers, with combo guard Monte Norris scoring 28 points and adding 5 assists off the bench, while Nikola Jokic contributing his own monster numbers, just shy of a triple-double with 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. To be fair, Dame did everything in his power to try and extend and win the game. Even Trailblazers head coach Terry Stotts couldn't help but give his kudos, even though he really should be more disappointed about that loss. He said, "It was the best playoff performance I've ever seen. He gave it his all. He made lots of shots. Look, he gave it his all." Dame right, he gave it his all. That's exactly what makes it more heartbreaking that the team could not finish off with a win. And that's exactly why the NBA family were left in an awkward situation, not knowing whether to send Dame their congratulations or their sympathies on Twitter. Here are some of the best reactions from Dame's friends in the league. Let's start with Stephen Curry, who managed to type in a single dot before mentioning Dame and very respectfully informing him that, well, that's all he has to say. Then we had Kevin Durant saying he actually had about 4 tweets he wanted to write to describe such a masterpiece night for Dame, but he couldn't even use up all the characters allowed in a single tweet. Durant explains he was seriously at a loss for words. But wait, Durant actually managed to come up with a second tweet where he just described what it felt like watching Dame play the best game of his life. KD said, "This is a spiritual experience, and we just want to say, hear, hear." But Mark Jackson couldn't even explain himself. He literally just wrote "mama" followed by an ellipsis, which means we're not even 100% sure he was talking about Dame's game. But I mean, come on, what else could have happened that night to warrant such a reaction, right? Zach LaVine was a little less cryptic, tweeting "Dame ... followed by an emoji of someone having their mind blown. Yep, relatable as always. Then we have Draymond Green, who despite seeing Lillard play like no other player has ever played before, said something like, "Yep, we've seen that one before," and even tagged Dame to show off his wise words. Next up, we have Manu Ginobili, who flexed his bilingual skills by saying, "I cannot believe my eyes," and then saying it again in Spanish, and he used 2 identical hashtags too. If Manu flexed both his English and Spanish, Ja Morant could only apologize for the French as he tweeted, "WTF, Dame," followed by a facepalm and open flame emojis. And how about Reggie Miller tweeting, "Dame, Dame, Dame, Dame," along with the hashtag "shooters shoot." I mean, we're just saying we know these people to be highly articulate on regular days, but look at Lillard reducing all of them into mumbling, stumbling messes on Twitter. Amusing. On the other hand, Portland's own CJ McCollum still had his words with him after the game, saying, "Dame made great plays all night for us, and it's a shame we wasted one of the best performances you'll see in the playoffs. Me, specifically, I have to be better for this team and for him, and I will be. He makes the right play all the time." But the rest of the team would have to wait a little longer to make amends to Dame, as the Portland Trailblazers were unable to bounce back from such a disappointing Game 5 win, bowing out in Game 6, 126-115. After their ungraceful exit from the playoffs, Lillard went on to Instagram to throw some shade. The 6-time All All-Star posted a photo with his caption quoting the late rapper Nipsey Hussle's track dedication. He wrote, "How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meet preparation?" Lillard is understandably frustrated, and he seems to have reached his boiling point as the Blazers suffered their second consecutive first-round playoff exit, their fourth in the last 5 seasons. Now, many people are wondering what will happen to the team in the offseason. In fact, they had already parted ways with head coach Terry Stotts shortly after their playoff exit. After Stotts paid the price for Lillard walking somberly into a dark tunnel instead of into a rain shower of confetti, Dame quickly informed a handful of media outlets of his preference for a coaching replacement, which is none other than Jason Kidd. So far, we are getting no indications yet that the team is looking to trade Lillard, because why would they really? But Dame and his agent Aaron Goodwin could easily change that tone. In fact, a person close to Lillard has already told CNBC that he's expected to wait to see what the Blazers will do in the offseason before he decides on his future. A rival NBA agent who faced a similar situation with another star player said Lillard should first gauge how serious ownership is about winning, but after his public comments soliciting Kidd, the signs suggest Lillard wants to stay. But can you imagine how speechless everyone will be once again if Dame decides to take his talents elsewhere? Still, it would seem that the next big puzzle piece that Portland needs to nail in place is who will be the new coach. Kidd is currently an assistant coach for the Lakers, who won the championship last year. He has head coach experience and a title as a player from his time in Dallas. He'd bring credibility in the locker room and will instantly click with Lillard, as both are Oakland natives. The thing is, can Olshey trust Kidd? If this is Olshey's final coaching hire before he too is gone, can he count on Kidd to honor organizational structure? As we all know, his history as a head coach for various NBA teams is not exactly rosy. He's had many feuds across the years and has managed to make a lot of enemies to get to where he got during his career. Another option, of course, would be Chauncey Billups. We see Olshey trusting Billups faster than he would Jason Kidd, as the two have already built a strong relationship due to their shared history with the Clippers. There are rumors that ESPN NBA analyst and former Knicks coach Jeff Van Gundy might also emerge as another great option for the Blazers, but we just don't know how the fan base will react. But should he get his coaching wish, Lillard would still need to see the Blazers make moves to try and upgrade the roster, which was among the worst in the league in terms of defense. A top asset guard like CJ McCollum would attract a healthy return. Cleveland Cavaliers were mentioned as one possible destination for McCollum. The Spurs also like McCollum, but his name hasn't gained traction within their trade scenarios. A Western Conference executive floated the idea of the Clippers trading Paul George this summer if the team failed to meet expectations, hence a possible McCollum to the Clippers package. And if Miami can't lure a Lillard deal, McCollum could be an option there too. Stotts was the first casualty, but there's no telling if he would be the last. Now fans, corporate partners, and the rest of the NBA are waiting to see what's next in Portland, and most of all, if Lillard's loyalty will keep the Blazers' business from crumbling. So after leaving the entire NBA family at a loss for words due to his monster performance, the uncertainty for Portland moving forward is now generating quite the buzz, with self-proclaimed sports analysts making wild guesses on how the team will rebuild moving forward. As for us, we're keeping our eyes peeled for any more indication that Lillard may have reached his boiling point with the unglamorous recent history of the Trailblazers, as there's still no discounting the possibility that we might see him blazing trails somewhere else. After all, a player of Dame's caliber can practically go wherever people can afford him, and his options are simply growing by the second.